Okay, good morning, guys. Sorry for the little slip coming across there. So today it is 11:43 on Thursday, the 24th of November 2022, and I just thought I would start off with the description that I've put up here for this video. I've said hold the line. Currently, whilst the stock market may not appear to be doing an awful lot, there is movement in terms of bank interest rates and bond returns, etc. As always, the winning strategy has mathematically been shown to continue to invest consistently over a period of time, and that's what I'm going to do. So, in terms of the bank interest rates, I had a look at my own mortgage interest rate there not long before coming online, and it is sitting at just below 6% per annum. And as we know, the typical annual return on average in the stock market is around just over 10% per year. So there's a slight difference there, not an awful lot at present. And as you can see, if you look at the bottom right of this screen here, in the past 12 months to the day, the S&P 500 has actually delivered a negative 5% return. Now, although that looks bad, particularly in the context of mortgage interest rates on the rise, what you have to bear in mind is that when the recovery comes, typically the return in the year or years following a crash is much greater than 10%, and I suppose the argument would be that, do you want to sacrifice your potential in the future? And I think that's really the bottom line. There's an expression which is coming to mind, or at least almost. Short-term pain for long-term gain, is that it? Something along those lines. I can't remember the expression correctly, but basically the notion being that although this doesn't look great, the return on the portfolio at present is just under 1%, and nominally that's really very little. In fact, you might have done better to date by keeping your money in a savings account, quite frankly. But we have to remember that this is during poor market conditions, and I think we're officially in recession as things stand. So it's actually not a bad time to be putting money into the market, but with the caveat that the money that you invest, you should not be looking for it in the short to mid-term, quite simply because when you invest money, it can go up or it can go down in value, and you could end up getting back less than you had invested. The change that has happened with mortgage interest rates and so on has caused at least one YouTuber that I know of to have sold quite a proportion of his portfolio, and he has gone ahead and I think he has paid off his mortgage. I think I'm right in saying that. I was disappointed when I saw that, because obviously, as I say, that to me basically that says that he was investing more than he could afford, and on top of that, he will now have lost out on the opportunity of the gains that we can expect to see in recovery. If I'm correct, I would say within 3 years' time, you should see a significant change in these figures, particularly the return on the portfolio. So come back in November 2025 and check the video then and see if that does prove to be correct. So in the meantime, guys, we're going to go ahead with our weekly investment of £120 in the S&P 500, ticker VUSA, and that's trading on the Vanguard, trading on Trading 212, their practice account, and as you can see at today's price, we're going to be buying just under 1.9 shares probably. We'll send that through. That is said to have executed. I can see down here it has executed, but again, for some reason, I don't know why it does this, on the right hand side here, this number hasn't updated for me. Let's whack the refresh button, it'll do it. It doesn't take long. I just like to be able to show the actual figure, albeit it's a practice account. It's not totally theoretical. It's where we would indeed be if we had actually used real money for this. So there we go. As things stand at present, including today's investment, we are currently sitting just under 1% increase on investment. Current average price sitting at £62.91, and that is pretty much where that is at. Let me just return to the description that I put up here. So I mentioned bond rates there, bond returns, sorry, and that's because essentially when interest rates rise, or when inflation goes up, bond yields tend to improve as well. There are available now, as far as I'm aware, from some banks, bonds that you can take out for say 3 or 4%, and I believe some savings accounts are available as well, where they're offering you in around maybe 2.5–3%, if you will tie your money up for 2 or 3 years, that sort of thing. So I'm talking hypothetically here, because it's not my personal situation, but hypothetically speaking, if I did have my financial cushion created, and personally that's not where I am, and it's not where I want to be, from the point of view that I want to continue to invest the maximum amount that I can afford, right through until I'm within a year or two of retirement. Now, I'm talking about early retirement, of course. And my plan at that point then is to, in effect, to test the portfolio. Okay, so in my final year or two of work, when I think I have reached FI, my plan is to work a further year or two, and to essentially save the income that I receive from working, and to let that build into a cushion, as I call it. My expectation, my hope, whatever you want to call that, is that that at the end of that couple of years will represent up to a 4-year financial cushion, which I'll be able to use in the event of a future market downturn, which would harm the portfolio if I was to withdraw at that price. So, as I say, my personal intent is not to have that cushion there until the final year or two of my working career. But if I had, for whatever reason, I already had that money sitting in cash, I would be certainly very tempted to go along to the different banks and so on to see what sort of savings interest rate I could achieve with that money. I would be willing, obviously, to tie it up for possibly up to 5 years. At the end of the day, if you have your rainy day fund already established, you're not going to tie your rainy day fund up in that. But if you have a financial cushion, which is in addition to your rainy day fund, it may well be worth your while to go along to your bank or whatever and take advantage of that 2.5%, 3%, maybe even 4% guaranteed interest, as opposed to keeping it in cash. So with a caveat that I'm talking strictly here about money that you're not intending on investing in the market. This is for money which you're intending on keeping in, that you don't currently need, that you may wish to rely on at some point in future, perhaps after you've declared financial independence, but not including a rainy day fund, which you would have obviously to replace, I don't know, a car or something like that, should you need to at some point in the next couple of years. Right, guys, I think I have talked long. I probably have talked too long, but there we go. You've seen the investment for this week. There seems to be very little movement at all today, or else 212 is frozen. But as far as I can recall, this figure has hardly moved since I've started looking at it. Some notifications here, so you can just see the order executed there. A bit of a mention about Tesla jumping. Credit Suisse drops. Wealthy clients are pulling out now. Why are they doing that? That may be something worth looking into. I'm not going to do it right now, but if you're interested in knowing, you could have a look at that. Guys, in some respects, I think these two items here serve to highlight why it's better to invest in an exchange traded fund, because basically you're buying all these companies, and at the same time as on the whole here, we've got a mention here about Tesla jumping and Credit Suisse dropping. So on the whole, those will tend to even each other out, and it just means that your investment is that bit safer. You've got good diversification through using an exchange traded fund, and the key is basically to find one that gives you a good return over a length of time, and preferably one which has a proven track record. So that is pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will return again in the future for more. And if you're interested in knowing when I have uploaded more content, feel free to like the video, hit the subscribe button, and I think the notification bell is the one that will actually show up on your device to let you know that there's more content available, if it doesn't even actually let you know whenever I go online for a live stream. So guys, thanks for watching. Have a great end to your day, and hold the line.
It starts with
one thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know, or wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go.